Now, as an example of how HuggingChat works, I just gave it a request to come up with 10 content ideas for a travel blog. I want it to be funny, engaging, and based on current trends. And then after that, I would like it to be formatted in a CSV file with the title and the prompt to generate actual travel blog so that in the end, I have that and can keep that in my content marketing strategy. So the web search did not work. And as I already explained previously, the web function is there, but not as strong. However, when I look into everything that I generated, it's not a bad list. I need to look at it more closely to really see if it is good, but I think this is already a good start. Maybe not the negative ones as much, but this is not a bad start. Now I'm going to say, can you for and there it will go. It will generate a CSV file for me with all these ideas, and then also with the prompt that I need to generate the actual blog post. Needs a bit of time to think. So what I ask now HuggingChat to do is to compile this all in a CSV file. And notice that the first attempt was not exactly right because some of the cells weren't right. He did something wrong with the commas. There's a coding thing that is right. So I just asked it to do it again, ask it to have the comma structure correct. I copy that now. I put it into Google. I paste it in here. And now I see that it is much better formatted. I'm splitting the text into columns. I have the title of my post and I have the prompt. And then I can use this prompt, put it back into Hugging Face and generate the actual blog post. I'm just going to copy that here, go back to Hugging Face and just paste in the prompt that it just generated for me. And now I'm generating the content idea that I just asked it to write. So that makes it easier for me to have them write the prompt instead of me having to write the prompt. Here it gives me the content, pretty similar to what ChatGPT would be doing. I can now ask it to write it in a different style, perhaps more dot points, perhaps less numbering, and those kind of things. I can refine it further just as you would with ChatGPT. So overall, I think the chat function is pretty good. It just sometimes has a bit of hazards that it doesn't exactly read the internet well or that it doesn't exactly get the coding right. So it's something to pay attention to, but when you really pinpoint to what you actually want, it does a very good job. And, well, look, it is a free version compared to ChatGPT where you need to pay for. Now, another thing that I like about HuggingChat is that it does not end with a conclusion section because I find it so typically AI. It always ends with conclusion. Now, I can, of course, now ask it to be refine it further, but I just wanted to show you that this is a good way to use HuggingChat. So looking into HuggingChat, the contender of ChatGPT, if you would like to check it out, this is the way you sign up. Go to huggingface.co/chat and you can sign up with your email address. This is what you'll see. Once you sign up, this is the screen that will be shown to you. Here we'll see a few remarkable things. First of all, there is different models. Like the current model is this one here, that's just by default. You can also change that model, and I'll show you in a moment how to do that. They are all geared for different ways and different purposes. So here you have a number of models that you could use, and it also describes why this one is a strong one and what the other ones are strong in as well. I think for most everyday users, you're fine with just keeping the default, but just want to let you know this is possible. If you're really interested, you can also go into the model page and read all about the releases and all the different functions, but I don't think it's necessary. There is also a pricing for Hugging Face. However, most of it is free. So I think the free account really suffices for most of you. But if you want to, you can also use a Pro account or Enterprise Hub. Please also notice that the price that they're charging is quite considerably lower than ChatGPT Plus, so it's quite a good advantage. Well, for now, let's just stick to the free version. And one thing that is really remarkable for the free version is you can now search the web, which is currently not available in ChatGPT. So that's really a good advantage. So for example, when I'm going to ask it, can use, it should be able to do that using the web and all the information that's there. So here it already does the web search for me. It is completed for me. And now it is summarizing it for me. That is not bad. The only thing where I'm a little bit iffy about is that it doesn't really tell me, or I can't really put in what kind of web page it should source it from. So it now picks My Sun Coast, New York Times, Newsview, and I mean, not bad resources, but maybe I just want to summarize something specifically. But it's one thing that really makes it much different compared to what ChatGPT already offers. Now, just as a test, I included a web search for HuggingChat. This is a job ad for a marketing manager at the National Art School. And ask it to write back to me what it is about so that I can learn what the competencies and the background is of people that are looking for it and if I could apply. Just as an example, by the way, I'll probably not qualify, but let's give it a go. Now, one thing that I noticed is that it got the job title wrong, account executive, where it was actually a marketing manager, and an employee of Horizon Connect, which is not the National Art School. So this is just one word of warning I'd like to give you. It does connect to the internet, but it does also make mistakes. It does know where the received website is, but it just doesn't get it right. Just as a GPT, you can have a dark theme and a light theme. That is pretty easy. Of course, you have your account page, but something that's really interesting are the settings. And here you probably would like to switch off share conversations with other authors. I mean, if you're very kind, you can help them, but it may mean that some people read alongside what you're doing. That's totally up to you. You can also change the models that you're using and also delete all the conversations that you had before. Now, finally, as an introduction, I would invite you to just have a play around with it and see what HuggingChat can do for you compared to ChatGPT. And then we'll delve further into all the other functions. Now, one exciting feature of HuggingChat is that it has assistants. When you click here on the assistants, you have all kinds of pre-made bots that you can talk to. Some of it are funny, some of it are more serious, some are a bit focused on coding, some are just for a laugh. It depends what you're looking for. Out of all of these examples, I, for example, liked how you can talk to an old philosopher or to your Italian grandma or to a real human. So you can just look around here and see which ones are right for you. Now, I also created my own assistant. It's actually very easy to do. I will show you in a moment how to do it. I am very focused on content marketing, so that's why I created my own content marketeer. I'm just going to go to settings and I'll show you exactly how I did it. Here in the system instructions, I show why I use Hugging Face Chat and what I use it for. I want to generate SEO optimized articles, current topics that I write about. And it's very similar to custom instructions that you also have in ChatGPT. Then for SEO, I have a few guidelines like the Google's guidelines on expertise, experience, assertiveness, and trustworthiness. Using LSI keywords, this is latent semantic indexing, so not only the primary keywords, but keywords that are related to that. And those kind of things are relevant for SEO. So when I have this, if I want to change anything, I can just change the edit here. I can change the avatar and the name and all that. So now I have my own bot that is geared towards content marketing based on how I want things to be instead of how someone else wants to be. Now, if you think you would like to use someone else's, that's totally fine. But if you want your own one, that's perfectly fine. Just create a new assistant. You can just upload an avatar, a picture. You don't need to. You can name it anything you fancy. So, for example, this is friend, and my friend knows all about how to train puppies. And I can change the model if you want that. Otherwise, just keep it default. Your starting message. So, for example, puppy. Or for example, so all these starter messages. And then here in the instructions, you are an expert dogs, please. Etc. So I'm just going to fill in more and more and more here, but you get the idea. I create it. And now that I have this, I'm going to activate it. Of course, I can change the image. Oh, that's easy. It's active now. I'm going to click this away. So now when I charge a new chat, I have my friend here that is very an expert on how to train puppies. And here there are some starting questions that you can start off with. For example, how to make it overrun by name. And now it will start talking about that. Now, this is a very simple example. Of course, you can change your friend or your bot in the own way that is generates content that is relevant for your audience. But you get the idea. You can build your own bot that really works for you. So I encourage you to have a look around the assistants. See which ones are out there, which one you fancy. Maybe you want to use some that other people already created, or you can just create your own one that is very relevant to your needs. So have fun with it, play around with it, and create a bot that suits your needs.